Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about 5 minutes from the house tops. It took a lot longer to wrap up Mass than I originally thought.
No rush because we can start other people's characters first. So, and we
Cool.
probably want to focus on, yeah, it'll be fine.
Cool.
And that's the only goal for today is to get you guys generated characters. That's it. And then we'll start. Hopefully, if we get everybody done, we'll start next week.
Great. Yeah, the more I read through the Burning Wheel book and the supplement, I'm like, man, I really want to play because the mechanics are so interesting to me. I want to see how they work in praxis.
Oh, dude, you guys are already seeing, I think, how different it is than all other role-playing games. It's really different. And I always tell people that it will change the way you think about role-playing. You'll never think about role-playing the same once you played the Burning Wheel because you can do real character development, real role-playing with this game. And it centers on that. It's not about killing monsters or whatever. It's really about character goals. Amazing. Okay, so I have the book open. The first thing we want to do for everybody is did everybody get a chance to download the Burning Sands Jihad book?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it until now, if you want the honest answer. You said
Let
you sent
me
it in an email?
sure, no problem. I will give you another link to it. Um, again, just this is something that is not for sale. So I would never give away any published and buyable material. So just so you know, I wanted to make that statement.
Yeah, that works.
So books.
Yeah. I would happily buy a physical copy of the Burning Sands stuff, but I could not find one anywhere. The only ones I found were like I could print on demand it, but that's not going to the actual creator of the rule set. It was just like, oh,
Right.
we'll print
And
this PDF for you. I'm like, no thanks.
I'm somewhat friends, I've met Luke many times, so I wouldn't say I'm friends with him. I'm an acquaintance. I regularly meet him, and I would not want to see him deprived of, his hard work earnings. So I will not be giving away any of the PDFs that you can buy, and you should buy them. But Burning Sands, I'm pretty sure he's not allowed to sell. So I will share that PDF. Let me do that.
I know I had a character sheet somewhere. Oh boy.
Can you put your email in the chat, Austin? I know I already have it like 2
Yeah,
million
I got
times,
you.
but it'll just make it easier for me.
Oh, there it is. How did the character sheet end up there? What the fuck? Okay, what do I have? Oh, hey, I got further than I thought I did.
Okay, you should be getting a link pretty soon.
Yeah, yep, it just came through. I just got the email for Dropbox.
So the complicated thing is we're gonna need to choose life paths. And the thing about life paths is that you can't just choose any life paths. Um, some life paths have requirements of previous life paths. And
Mm-hmm.
there's something called subsettings, and the subsettings drive. So when you pick a life path, it'll tell you what subsettings you can go to from that life path. I think we're all uh you can either start from the villager, so like Austin for your character, you could start from either the villager or the peasant setting or the city dweller setting. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But Bruce, you cannot because you are going to have to start from the noble setting. But I think that's pretty obvious. And I
Yeah.
think that's the same with Narian's character. I think he'll be able to work his way up to where he needs to be from any setting. So yeah. I think the jihadi subsetting is kind of like a Fremen setting, so we'll probably avoid that because none of you guys are playing Fremen. So I would say, do you want to start from the peasant, villager, or city dweller? My recommendation to you is to probably start from the city dweller setting, but it's up to you.
I don't even know what that means.
Did you specifically disallow the noble setting, or is that just, or did I miss it?
I'm not disallowing it, but I'm saying Bruce has to choose that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna pick like the Baron, but like I wanted to be like a court, middling court noble.
You could definitely do the noble setting. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Everybody could do the noble setting. It's just that you've all decided that the only one who's going to be a noble, really, the only character is Bruce's character. But you can play a role in the noble setting without being a noble, so that's not a problem.
And we are using the burning jihad life paths.
Yep.
Okay.
We sort of have to. I wouldn't say we're 100% forced to, but since you guys are all new to the burning wheel, like if you were real experts at the burning wheel, you could probably pull into another futuristic setting like Burning Empires. But since you're new to the burning wheel, I would say let's just stick to this one book. Otherwise, it'll
Yeah.
get super complicated.
Yeah. However, it does say in that book that it's like a supplement. So I imagine as long as we're not using like the magic oriented ones from the default, because like for instance, there's no like musician life path innate to the Burning Sands setting. So I
Mm.
assume that you're supposed to kind of like mix and match them certain life paths from the default and that one, right?
I would not be opposed to that, sure. And do I have the burning wheel open right now? Let me open that up actually.
That's actually perfect. Slave gladiator. That's actually looking at that. That's perfect for my character as a start, which leads me into soldier and outcast subsettings, which is just going to build the character perfectly. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, at least if that's what soldier outcast lead. Oh, that means I have to have a lead. I see. Okay.
Yeah, so everybody's gonna start from either peasant, villager, city dweller, or noble. And then from there you can go into
Yeah.
soldier, outcast. But you've got to start your born thing, which has to be your first life path, is either peasant, villager, city dweller, or noble.
Um,
And by the way, I would say that burning wheel life paths are not meant to be balanced. Since this isn't a game like Dungeons and Dragons, there is no combat balance. So you could create a character that's weak and poor, and you could create a different character that's strong and rich, depending upon the life paths that you choose. But I would say don't let that influence you, because remember, this is all about the story. So, what life paths are you going to pick that most mimic the story you want to tell with your character? If that makes sense.
yeah.
It doesn't matter if your character's weaker, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you are all going to be awarded Artha for great role playing. And the Artha is going to drive your ability to do things in the game. You know, great role playing is far more important than, you know, maximizing this powerful character, right? And also, there's the concept that failure is good. Failure in this game is good. It brings consequences and makes the story more interesting. So don't be afraid of failure. Some people will take actions knowing they're going to fail just because they want to attempt that. They want to raise their skill, or they, you know, it's part of the story that they want to try, and they're, you know, they'll accept the consequences of failure. They'll make the story more interesting.
Testing, testing.
Hello.
Okay, cool. I've switched over from my phone to my PC now that I'm home.
Nice. Hey, by the way, Austin, just on a side note, one of the guys who was in our unit works for Sig Arms, the
Ooh.
pistol manufacturer.
Yeah.
I know you're broke as fuck right now. I just thought about that when you told me. But they're making a pistol, and they're gonna carve, like, engrave the 508 crest in the pistol.
Oh, yeah. Hold
Yeah,
on.
and it's gonna be B Company 2508. I'll keep you informed. I know you don't want to buy it, but
Maybe I
you know, we'll see what happens.
Maybe I shouldn't do it while it's on video. I got my rifle that I bought while I was deploying. Hey, you know what? Screw it. It's not loaded. It's not. It's fine.
Hey, by the way, guys, on another note, um, uh, Braden had to drop out. He can't do Sundays.
That's sad to hear.
Yeah. He just couldn't do Sundays, but you know, it's cool. I didn't want to keep rearranging things, you know. It's gonna be that there are gonna be sometimes people who can't make it, and we can't torture ourselves trying to wrestle down a time. Sunday seems to work for everybody, so
Well, mostly everybody.
but I think his character was cool enough that we keep him as an NPC.
Yeah, because he was the military strategist, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And he was kind of the linchpin of my character, so.
Exactly. So he's going to be an NPC. In fact, you could choose him as a relationship. So you're going to get resource points, and the resource points that you get from your life path, you can spend on things like reputations, affiliations, relations, and gear. And gear isn't as important in this game. It may be in a way, because you guys are probably going to want personal shields, but maybe not. You know, we'll see. But really, the relationships can come in handy, and affiliations. So, like, for circling up someone, you can't use skills. You can use the circle skill, obviously, but you can't you can't fork in other skills. You can only use reputations and affiliations. So that's something to know.
Yeah. I say you'll get a.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. It's got
Nice little
Fury
carbine.
die on it. That's
Then
incredible.
it has Task Force Fury for Operation Inherent Resolve. This was our deployment rifle that Grey Ghost built.
Wow. I'm jealous.
Is that an
As
EOTech
if
on
I
it?
need another firearm. I don't.
Yes, it is an EOTech on it.
You can always use more firearms, right?
Always. I've got so many I want to buy, and I don't have the money to buy them.
I need to start shooting mine more. I have 1,000-yard range, only 40 minutes from me.
Oh. Yeah, no, Nerian, it used to have it used to have the I have one of the quick aim hollow suns, the red and green dots
Mhm.
with the magnifier. It used to have it on that, but I was doing some flip-flopping one day and I was looking at the 300 blackout that had the EOTech on it, and I'm like, it's a dual dotted EOTech. I have no reason for a dual dot EOTech to be on a 300 blackout.
Yeah.
Now, does the 300 blackout need the magnifier? No, but fuck it.
My old squad leader built me a sniper rifle, and I paid as much for the scope as I did for the rifle. I got
Yep.
that TA-55 fiber optic, needs no batteries scope that'll reach out to like 800 yards.
Yeah. On my Steyr bullpup, I have an ACOG. I feel like I can't go back, it's just so good. Everything I needed.
Is it a Trija?
Well, Bruce and I were from the old school where we, qualified with iron sights, and
Mm-hmm.
the only scope we ever had, we never really used it a lot at all, was the Starlight,
I
which
never qualified on anything but irons, but we definitely got issued more sophisticated optics once we got in theater.
Yeah.
yeah, not me. I played around with the Starlight scope a few times. That was it. But I was a machine gunner anyway, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna be the scope guy back in the day.
New
Okay, let's
army has
everybody
realized that
exactly.
Yeah,
Let's
new
try
army
to
has realized that it's if you're shooting with irons, you're fucked.
I'm sure it's true. What do I know though? I've never seen any combat, man. The only combat I saw was at the Flaming Mug. All right, guys, let's start with your life path. So everybody choose your first life path. And let me know if you need help from that. So one of the things you need to write down, the name of the life path, how many resource points you're getting from it, how many years it takes. Then you need what starting skills you get. And now there'll be a list of skills, right? You have to buy the first skill. So whatever the first skill that's listed, that's like mandatory. And then you're going to have traits from the life path. Write those down too. You may or may not. Some life paths have no traits.
Okay.
So I'll just go to the noble life path. Let me see if I can actually find a link to that life path noble setting. So like there's born noble. So if you pick the born noble life path, you're at least 9 years old. So you've gone from 0 to 9 years. You get 15 resource points, no stat bonuses, and you can go from the noble life path into any. The skills, you get 5 points in general and 2 points in either literacy and or poisons wise. Kind of scary to be from the noble life path, I guess. And then you get 2 points in traits, which you can pick ancestry. You can pick, we're not going to use salt addicted, so you could get spice addicted, your lordship, your eminence, your grace. You're not going to get your grace unless you progress through to like the bishop life path, which you're not going to do. And you're so like Bruce, your character is definitely going to get your lordship. You would only get your grace if you were the Duke and that's your dad, so you're not going to get that. So you're going to get your lordship for sure. And then the other one, you could probably pick ancestry, would be my guess. I'm sure you don't want to pick spice addicted. But if you did, and it got you into trouble, you would get Artha for that.
What page is this on? Is it in
So
the
the
GP?
life path for the noble setting that I'm at is on page 25 of the PDF. And that's the Burning Sands Jihad PDF.
Okay, I see where it says noble setting, but I don't really understand it.
If you scroll, if you're on 25 and like it'll be but like life paths, there'll be Born Noble and Baron are the two on that page.
Okay.
And so like the Born one, you have to start with a Born life path before you can pick the subsequent three.
So
So
since
you
you're going to be the son of a duke, clearly you're going to start with the Born Noble life path.
Okay, cool. Makes it easy.
So write down Born Noble. The time cost is 9 years. You get 15 resource points. You're going to get 5 points in general skills. And then you're going to get 2 points in, and you can spend them either in literacy or poisons wise, or you could put them both into one. So you could put 2 points in literacy. That's probably what I would do if I were you, but it's up to you. You know, if you're a noble and you're the head of Atreides, maybe you do want at least 1 rank in poisons wise. I don't know.
So, where it says life path, born noble, and then it's got time, res, stat, and leads. What do they mean?
So the time when you pick life paths, you're going to come out of your life path being a certain age, and each life path takes a certain amount of time to complete. So the Born Noble life path takes 9 years to complete. Does that make sense?
No.
Well, you're going to have 4 life paths, right? That's what we're starting with. And those, if you add up all the time in each one of those, that's going to determine the starting age of your character.
So that's what time is. 9 years is the
Yeah.
first life path.
Right. And you're going to have 3 more. So you're going to come out X age. We don't know what that is yet, right?
Okay.
But the Born Noble life path costs 9 years to take on. You're going to get 15 resource points from it. And what I would do is write this down in just like it's written here, because you're going to need to write down 4 different life paths, and then you're going to need to sum up all your resource points, the time, you know, things like that, the skill points, etc.
Okay.
You could do it in a spreadsheet too, however you want to do it, whatever works for you.
And then stat. Yeah, I know it's dash, but what does stat mean?
Some life paths give you bonuses to stats.
And then leads. Any?
And that means what life paths you can go to from Born Noble. And the Born Noble life path, you can go to any life path. But other life paths will have restrictions. So this Baron, you're restricted to either go to the court or the soldier subsetting.
So what's the strategy? Is there any strategy in developing your other 3 life paths?
It's not really, I wouldn't say it's a strategy. It could be considered that way. I would say it's what set of life paths are going to give you the character you want to play. So there's no min and max. Don't worry about that. I mean, you could, but really, you want to pick the life paths that are going to give you the character that you're looking for. Think about the skills that you want to have when we're done creating your character. Right?
Okay.
And pick the life paths that are going to give you those skills. So, like for you, you could stay in the noble court subsetting. You may want to go to the soldier subsetting, or I don't know, we'll see. But if you go down and you see noble court, there are other life paths. So we're just picking your born life path for now. So
Okay.
you can't start with any other life path other than a born. So there's born peasant, born villager, born noble. You're obviously going to pick born noble because you're from a noble house, right?
Okay.
So that's your first one. So write down born noble, 9 years, 15, and then write down everything under the skills and traits. And then draw a line under that life path, and we're going to move then to your next life path.
Okay.
And so, Austin, have you thought of a life path you want to start from?
So I was thinking with going a city dweller, because you said we would be good if we were to like start city dweller.
You could certainly start as a city dweller. Let's see. There has to be, okay, it looks like there has to be a born life path for the city dweller, and I'm not finding it. Where is it?
Yeah, I'm not
So-
finding it either.
That's what I'm saying is that if you read the beginning of the section about life paths in the jihad text, it says that everything in there is a supplement to the default choices in the version. So you'd have to start the ones that are listed there, like Baron is specific to the jihad setting, but you can still be the noble from the preceding setting, or like a city dweller from the base setting.
So let's go to I'll help you with the Burning Wheel PDF because I own that. So let me go to that life path. So there is a so there's a city-born life path. Let me share my screen really quick. Where is my PDF? So copy down this for those of you who want to be in the city-born. It's 12 years, 10 resource, no stat bonuses, and it leads either to servitude, court, noble, or outcast. You get 4 skill points in general and 1 trait point.
Okay, perfect. That'll lead me to. That's actually perfect because that'll run me to servitude, which is what I wanted to do as part of my
That's right.
part of my character anyways. So
Yeah, perfect. And then you could probably bust out a servitude in the soldier. So,
yes, I can now. My thing that I'm the only thing I'm looking at now going from servitude to soldier is I'm looking at a bunch of the like subsects of crap that I have to be able to use some of them. Because like
let's do this. Servitude is what is an interesting servant, field labor, captive of war. Captive of war might be
Yeah,
Let's see,
actually,
4
for my
years.
character, I say the one in Jihad has Slave Gladiator, which is another one I was looking at too. That's kind of like
Oh,
with my
that's cool.
character. Yeah.
Let
So,
me move that near the burning wheel. There we go. Gladiator, I love that. Where's that? Outcast?
Servitude.
Oh, it's Servitude.
Yeah. It's the only subsetting of servitude that they have. It's Slave Gladiator, and it leads into Soldier.
Perfect. Wow. That's awesome. And it gives you, it opens up for you brawling, slave-wise, exotic weapons. I love it. I love it. And one of the traits you'll have is brutalized.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, those traits are gold for storytelling in the game if you use them properly.
Okay. Sonic weapons, slave wise. Okay, so Slave Gladiator 4. Oh fuck, I did not put everything down that I needed to. 2 years. 3 resource. No stats. Um oh, that's E.
Narian, by the way, thank you for being
Those.
so up to speed, man.
Straight point.
I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
I'm a bit
Yeah.
of a. Oh, wait, yeah, I'm a bit of a mechanics nerd, so I've read through most of the Golden Wheel main book now that I have my physical copy, and I'm still trying to see how the Burning Sands supplement plugs into it.
Wow.
I say
You,
I've touched on rules here and there, but I'm still getting used to a lot of it and trying to figure a lot of it out.
oh, dude, and this one it's from left field, my friend. You know, it is. It's a weird game.
Okay.
So let's see. We have 2 life paths for Austin's character. Narian, do you need help?
I think I think I understand how the life path selection works. Since we're doing Born and then 3 after that. What I did get a little bit wonky was not so much with skills, because that kind of made sense how to get to my exponent with my skills and the selection of traits. What kind of threw me off was let's see, where is it on my sheet? I open my character sheet. One thing I was having a bit of an issue with was in trait selection, because at first I thought like, oh, you just get traits based on the life path, but you have a finite amount of points, right?
You don't actually get those traits. Those are the traits you can spend on, so you still need to spend on them. And
So
you have to, when you pick a life path, the very first trait you have to spend on.
okay,
So,
so
like
in
for the servitude born slave, you have to buy broken as a trait. And then you can also get scarred, maimed, and lame if you would
okay,
want.
so that was so in the case of we're using the Burning Sands setting. So should I assume that the Born Noble trait in the Burning Sands kind of supersedes the noble trait that's in the book by
I
default?
would say that's a good assumption. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm not going to be a hard ass about anything because
I mean,
you
it kind of
want
makes
to
sense
create the character that you
if we're
want to.
committing to the setting, and we're playing with the idea that like salt, i.e., spice exists. We should probably all
Right.
stick to where possible. We should stick to that setting. In that
Yeah, I
sense,
agree.
should Bruce be an Baron since he's like higher station, and then I'll just be the Born Noble, but he'll be the higher ranking one?
I don't think so because it looks like the what traits? Regal bearing, pompous, callous, noblesse, oblige. Um,
Because it basically
yeah, he could take that. That's
like
true.
looking at the traits in the default setting,
Oh,
like
but that's not a born trait.
is it
He
not?
can move from
Gotcha.
the born noble into the Baron for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out to try and see if there's a mechanical representation of our difference in station. Because I don't perceive my character as being like a powerful noble. He's just at that level where he can like hang out in court around them, but he's not actually in command of anything, you know? He's just like
Yeah, that is a good point. So you will, if you are born noble, so you may not want to take the born noble life path because then you will be a lord of some sort. I mean, you were born into the nobility.
yeah, and so that's kind of well, looking at it, comparing the traits like in the let's see, in the burning wheel setting, like it says your, for instance, like if I took the your lordship trait, it doesn't mean that you like if you take I gotta find the page again with the traits.
It definitely means you're a titled person.
Yeah, so it says here to put it in perspective from the at least the way the rules are phrased to me, it seems to suggest that all of the your noble traits. One says, okay, your lordship simply indicates that the character was born into lower nobility. He need not have ever led the life of a lord. To do so would require the lord life path. However, this birthright is that of a lord and is accustomed to being addressed as such. Then you have like your eminence, which is like higher station. That's like actual counts. And then your grace is dukes or bishops. And that
Yeah,
I
I
guess that
don't
has to
see
do
you
with
guys getting to that. None of you guys are gonna be a duke or a bishop. So
yeah. So basically, I
you know
want to
what?
have enough
Go ahead.
familiarity with nobility to like be at home in a courtly setting, but I don't want to be like a baron or anything like that.
I would
That's like
start out with the city dweller setting and then move into the noble court subsetting.
okay. Because that the question is the only thing I wonder about is that the next path I want is intelligence analyst or whatever. Analyst what do they call it? It is
Is that a soldier subsetting?
it's I think it's in noble, yeah, analyst candidate, which is from city, it can come from city dweller or outcast. But it's under the noble court subsetting.
Oh, it's under the noble court subsetting. Noble court.
But it seems like I could get there from city
Wow,
dweller.
analyst candidate. This thing is so awesome. They thought through everything.
Yeah, and so I want to go my goal being to feed I don't know how much we want to like be transparent about our choices, but I kind of enjoy playing my cards close to my chest so the party doesn't know where I'm coming from. But that's my step one. And then the other two paths I was going to be a little bit more secret about if possible. Unless we're all just planning not to metagame and just like state what we're doing.
I think you do need to state what you're doing, unfortunately, because I think the party needs to know to counter you.
Okay. Well, because I was going to go from that into ideally, I was going to branch switch to the outcast. Where is it? Soldier,
You
and then
know
I want to
what?
go.
Hey, I would just add this in that if we were playing with this group of people who are all super sophisticated at the burning wheel, I think we could do the cards held close to your chest. But since most people are beginners or everybody, I think we should do everything out in the open, you know.
Okay.
For now.
Because yeah, I'm gonna go intelligent or yeah, analyst. What is it? Analyst candidate into assassin into propaganda officer.
Nice. You're gonna need Bard though too, right? Or are you just gonna
Well,
buy enough?
I was gonna use my general skill things to pick up music,
Okay.
and then I was gonna use my specific traits to like lean into the spy espionage side of things.
Perfect. Now you and Austin are from the same family, right? Who do you work for again?
No, I was gonna. Is my
Oh,
wife
that's
from
right.
working?
You're from Braden's character.
Yeah,
Never.
I was with Braden's house, so
Yeah.
he
Each
was
of
with
you guys are
Bruce.
gonna have to come up with 3 traits that are inherent to your house. That's right. It's you and Bruce that are from the same house, right, Marion?
Mhm. Well, and
So
also like I kind
Bruce-
of wanted my my beliefs when I planned out my beliefs, they didn't necessarily exist to serve the interests of the house. Like I have a separate agenda.
Right.
So
No,
I
that's
don't know where.
okay. I'm just talking about what traits your house is known for. You
Mhm.
get 3 of those for free. You don't have to buy them.
Okay.
So you and Bruce need to have the exact same 3 house traits so you can collab on what those should be. Probably one should be like extravagant because
Yeah, because we
that
got the
your house is known for being ultra wealthy.
Can I see
You're like
the
what? Who dresses extravagantly? Italians, right? That's the trope.
can I see the sergeant soldier skill out of the base burning wheel book?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Oh, I just
Uh,
need to
I can
see it so I
I
can
can
write it
screen
down.
share it too if you need. I think I have it.
Yeah. I say I just don't have the PDF and I can't find it on because for one of my traits, for one of my life paths, I need it for what I was looking to do.
Oh, I can go to it here. Let me so you want the soldier subsetting, right?
Sergeant at
Yeah.
Arms.
Uh says just sergeant right there.
Okay.
I don't need any. Yeah. All right. I can see it. You're good right there. I say it's just for the las gunner in the jihad book. I needed sergeant, and I'm trying to get there.
Perfect.
1, 2.
So hey Jerry, how's it going?
Yep.
Hey guys, good to be joining you.
So we are creating characters, and the first step is to create one of your or choose one of your born life paths. So you can either be born from a peasant setting. Not you probably won't be that. You're probably, I would imagine, going to be at least a city dweller setting. And I will let me know when you got that. You know what I'll do? I will take a screenshot of it and send that to you, Austin. So you
Oh,
have
That's fine.
I'm almost done.
okay.
I say I just needed to write down everything that came with the sergeant, and then I should be good. Squire, village guard, city guard, or yep, that's cast out by jihad giving me it. Yep. Because foot soldier directly references the soldier subpath. It says somewhere in here. If it says foot soldier, it's replaced with this one.
Perfect. So
Yep.
you're going to need
There it
that
is.
would sound like your 4 life paths are going to be born whatever you chose, and then the slave, and then then the foot soldier, and then sergeant. That'll be
Yeah.
your life path.
City born slave sergeant las gunner. Oh no, I need soldier to be sergeant. Oh shit.
You know what? Here's a problem too. Your description of your character sounds like you've become an officer because there's how would you affect the battle if you were just a sergeant? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's I'm looking at other ways too. I don't want to say that I was like a higher up. I would still think that's why I was thinking that sergeant would fit it because yeah, with the way I've described and have thinking of the character, I'm not, just a foot soldier, but I'm not, like say a first sergeant or a, you know,
Maybe
a-
okay, maybe it happened this way that you are a sergeant, but you're like Sergeant Basilone. You know, you're like the guy who became so famous from an act that you are more famous than your rank.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him being so of such practical necessity as an asset that even though he's not like born nobility, he's just like he's the right hand like man in terms of like barbarism
yeah,
and fucking lethality, you know?
You
yeah,
got so much news that may be you want a reputation too, man. You want to buy a reputation that you're either famous or infamous for for being at this one battle.
Yeah.
Maybe you're famous. You are regionally famous, which is not going to be cheap to get, but you are regionally famous because of this one thing you did in the battle.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a terrible thing because of the what I
You
built
can use
around this
it to get
character.
you
But
into trouble, and that will get you Artha. When your reputations get you into trouble, you're going to earn Arthur for that.
oh yeah, yeah, my reputations and my instincts are already gonna get me in trouble. I can already tell.
Perfect. Okay, so Jerry, let's go to you then. I will go to the main life paths here. So you could be, I would say, start from like the city dweller setting, which in the burning wheel, let me move the burning wheel here. There we go. If you would do city born, this will give you the ability to move into the court setting. And the way this works is, so I'm just giving you an example. If you chose the city born life path, then it would cost you 12 years. So you're going to emerge from the city born at 12 years old. It'll give you 10 resource points, no stat adjustments, and you'll be able to move into these life paths. So servitude, court, noble, or outcast. Then it's going to give you 4 skill points in general and 1 trait point. So if you want to choose Cityborn, and I'm not forcing you into that, write all this down. Right from
Okay.
here.
Right. I'm driving in my car right now. My notebook is in my bag. I went online to look at traits and beliefs and everything. Started writing a few things down. So,
Yeah, we'll
originally
help
my
you when you get home. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Big
yeah,
deal.
no, it's fine. My backstory was that my lord won me in a game of chance while he was gambling. Right.
Oh,
And
so you want to come from the born slave life path.
yeah. They found me and my family. I was still alive. My parents had starved to death. We were poor, and they found me, and then I ended up, being a menial slave. And he took a liking to me, and he won me in a game of chance. And I was good with
Okay.
numbers, so he decided to bring me back to his home and have me trained as a mentat. So that's
Perfect.
what I was originally. Now we could change that if you
No,
want.
we don't have
but that
to.
was my original story.
We can
But I
stick
came
with
from
that.
nothing, and I don't even remember my parents. It's just that the cook in the kitchen kind of looks like my mother, so I've been felt kind of close to her because she reminds me of my mother.
Perfect. We can have you do the born slave servitude life path. Not a problem. Okay.
Great.
Who else needs help? Bruce. We want to move to you maybe in the noble. Let's go to the noble setting. Do you want to move into the Baron path, or there's also the noble court subsetting, but I don't think those really may apply to you. Because you're more of the noble setting than the noble court. So you may want to go from born noble to Baron. And then from there, where can it lead? You can go into the court or the soldier. You may want to go into the soldier subsetting to get yourself some soldier-like skills. But it's up to you. Does that sound reasonable?
Man, I don't have a clue, man.
All right, we'll help you then. So write down all the stuff I think you've already got from Born Noble. Now write down all the stuff for Baron. So 13 years, 60 resource points. You get +1 to mental or physical. You get, and that can lead into court or soldier. And then write down the skills and traits.
Okay. What is +1M/P mean?
That's +1. I believe it's to mental or physical, but it might be +1 to mental and physical. I'm not positive.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up.
And those traits that are listed here, is that separate from the traits that you were talking about earlier, like being extravagant? Is that a different trait?
Yeah, so the traits now, these are the traits you're allowed to purchase. And the very first trait, you're always forced to purchase. So in the Born Noble Life Path, the very first trait is Ancestry. You must buy that. But you get 2 points, so you can buy other ones as well. And you're probably going to want Your Eminence, because to get the Baron trait, you must have the Your Eminence trait. So, which kind of doesn't make sense to me, because the only one it would be Your Eminence is actually the actual Duke, not you. So, I don't know, you know?
Well, I think the trait is kind of to be perceived like a quality that those around you see in you. So like if you're going to rise to that rank, you have this like, command presence that makes you qualified for it. I think it's meant like, to be like kind of inform how you role play the character a little bit.
Yeah, and English nobility, the way it works is that a guy like a Duke will have many titles. They'll have 4 or 5 titles, Viscount of this, Baron of that, right? And they'll normally take the title underneath theirs. So if they're a Duke, they might have an Earl. So they're the Duke of what, but they're also the Earl of whatever. And that Earl title will be handed to their son. So they'll be the Duke, but the son will be the Earl of whatever, right? But we could just say that he has the Your Eminence trait, but he's going to be an Earl of whatever, right? But I was only pointing that out because Your Eminence, well, not Your Eminence, but Your Grace is normally used only for a Duke. So an Earl you would not call Your Grace. But it's okay. Who cares? It's semantics. And then from there, you could move. So did you write down all the Baron stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move into the soldier subsetting. You're gonna want an officer, and it's weird that they don't have a normal officer. Soldier, soldier medic, machinist, pilot, laser gunner, armorer, engineer, stormtrooper, and then propaganda officer is the only officer type they have. Let's go into the
Yeah, I think if you go back to the noble one, there might be others.
Um,
Because like I think they put like, or I
Noble
think under
Court.
Siege where they put like Royal Guard, and then Man at Arms, Bannerman, Elite Guard, Sword Master, War Master, Strategist in that category.
And let me also look at the Burning Wheel soldier setting.
And just one point when you're picking, it seems like this is a difference between the Gold Edition book and the Jihad book. The Jihad book presumes that you read the little footnote to see what's required, whereas in the base book it doesn't tell you that. But if you look next to the title of the thing you're picking, it'll say like what you had to have done before you select it.
Right. Herald, court chief, squire, young lady, knight. The knight skill might make sense here. I would say knight more than soldier because you're so important. There's no way you'd be a normal soldier. You know what I mean? And we could just substitute out things like instead of mounted combat training, you might get like pilot. Shield training could be for, the shields you guys use that are in Dune. So I would say pick the knight. What do you think, Darian?
Yeah, well, it says at the beginning of the life path section in the Burning Sands, it says in all cases, here it says the material here is intended to be supplementary. Also, most of the skills and traits listed here are described in the character burner. New skills and traits are described in this chapter. In all cases, I ask for a bit of common sense from the reader. Burning Sands is meant to represent feudal medieval culture. And so, like, basically it says elements must either be translated into the current setting or ignored. And then it says the following skills should be replaced when found in the noble court or city dweller settings. So riding should be traded for pilot or driver. Fire bombs may be replaced with munitions, and appropriate weapons include swords, knives, axes, pistols, and rifles.
Perfect.
So I think it's kind of assumes that if it gives you something combat related in that setting, it should do the same just for whatever's relevant in this setting.
Right. So go ahead and write down, Bruce, this knight stuff. Oh, this requires squire or cavalryman. I think it makes sense then that you were a squire and then a knight. Squire, you're gonna get sword, armor training. Yeah, I would do. Why don't you do? So you're gonna get noble-born, baron. Then you're gonna get squire and knight. Those will be your 4 life paths. So write down squire, all that stuff, and then write down knight. And I think you'll be good.
You say squire and knight?
Yeah, so write squire, all the stuff from squire first. And then after that, write down all the stuff from knight.
Okay.
So this is all the stuff from knight. And that'll be your 4 life paths. Noble, baron, squire, knight.
Okay.
Probably during your coming of age, you were given your title. That probably makes sense. So you became the Earl of whatever on your 9th birthday or whatever. That's when you became, you were given your title by your dad. And then after that training, as a young man, you then became a squire for 5 years and then finally a knight. Or maybe it was the other way around, actually. You know what? You were probably born noble, then you became a squire, then you became a knight, and then after all that, you became the baron. That makes more sense to me. It won't matter in the burning up of the character, but narratively, I think that's the way it progressed.
What page is the squire on?
It's you have to have the Burning Wheel PDF, which you could buy at the Burning Wheel headquarters, and that is on page 181. I'm sharing it though. You can simply take a screenshot if you want. But I do recommend buying the Burning Wheel revised PDF. I'll send you guys a link to that. Let me pull it up here really quick.
Yeah, I just bought mine. It's like $20 and you can buy the PDF. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
20 whole bucks. I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm ready to commit that much. My God.
I'm broke right now and I committed to it. You'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Exactly. I know that. So in the chat, I put a link to the Burning Wheel website where you can buy that stuff.
I just
All right, guys.
realized one of the traits for soldier is just fucked. That's all it says is fucked.
It sounds like they served in the military, right? But I know Luke didn't, but still, it's funny.
One of the editors, somebody
At
did,
least
right?
I'm
Somebody
pretty sure he
involved in,
didn't.
yeah, somebody
Awesome.
involved in production did though. It says that in the opening notes, right?
Oh.
Oh, I think one of the people who reviewed the game or something. Yeah, there's a lot of hardcore players. That's for sure. And in fact, I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, no, you're right. Jake Norwood, the guy who wrote the foreword, he was an Iraq War veteran.
Nice. So the Burning Con is happening in October.
Where's that?
It's going to be in New York. It's going to be at a convent. That's where it was last year. That's its convent in upstate New York. I encourage everybody to attend. It was a blast. A lot of the people who wrote the games, Torchbearer, Burning Wheel, Dungeon World, are going to be there. So it's pretty amazing.
I haven't even come up with a name for this character.
Oh man. So did you see the Prince of Blood life path, Austin?
What? Where is this in which book?
It can feed from soldier or court. It's in the main Burning Wheel Gold book. But it seems like a cool way that you could like ascend to that level of significance through like another life path.
What life path is that in?
What is it under?
It's under let's see, it's under Golden Wheel Paths of Man, so humans. It's under noble setting, and it's feeds from court, soldier, or religious. Requires the Your Grace trait and express permission from the GM and all players in the current game. Sorry, it might be a weird outlier, but it just says that. But it just seems like a funny way
from the GM.
Where's it? I'm not seeing it in Noble Court.
Sorry, that's right above the Noble Court subsetting. It's the last one above that. So
in the Jihad book, not. Oh no, it's in Burning Wheel. I'm lying to you. I'm looking at the wrong book.
It just seems like a fitting title.
Oh, Prince of the Blood. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
That sounds like what Bruce should take.
Yeah.
The express permission from the GM and all players concerns me. that's all I'm gonna say. Seems like something that someone that has a lot more experience with the game should take.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna make Bruce, if you take Prince of the Blood, you are definitely gonna have a huge target on your back. But hey, I think it's appropriate. I would approve it. You are the son of the Duke. It's definitely appropriate. Instead of king, you're gonna inherit the house eventually. So I don't see it as a problem. And I would say that it's probably gonna be like, how old do you imagine your character being? 25? Older, younger? I couldn't see you being younger than 25 and them sending you on this mission, like your dad sending you on this mission. So I would imagine you're at least 25.
Oh boy.
Oh, did you see the professional? I didn't realize there was a distinction between city dweller and then professional soldier. Did you guys see that?
In the base burning room?
Yeah, the professional soldier one seems to outline. Oh, because you found that. Never mind. Sergeant, veteran, cavalryman.
Yeah. Professional soldier is a subsetting that you have to get through to from like city dweller.
Gotcha.
From your
So yeah, it
born
seems
path.
like captain in that is the way to be like a non-noble born officer, basically.
Essentially, it would take stormtrooper would be the problem is that if I were to do that, it's going to require like 3 life paths just to be able to get to captain.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because instead of knight for the requirement for captain, I could use the stormtrooper out of the jihad book, but to get stormtrooper, I have to have sergeant, man at arms, or something along those lines that requires me to have soldier. So it's taking 5 to 6 life paths for me to get there.
Gotcha.
Bruce, is that something you want to do? The Prince of the Blood life path?
I mean,
Maybe.
I'm good with anything you guys really recommend, man. This is all new to me, man.
So what if we have you were born noble instead of the Baron, you take Prince of the Blood and then Squire and Knight. The reason is, well, how many, let me look at that Baron. How many resource points does the Baron get? 60, so the same. It's really not much different. Actually, the Baron may be better.
Yeah, it's also like more setting specific too.
Yeah, I would take the Baron instead, because you're going to get bonuses to your stats where you're not going to get one with Prince of the Blood.
So born noble, you're baron, and then squire, and then knight.
Yeah, so born noble, Baron, Squire, and Knight.
Okay.
Once we get everybody's all their life paths chosen, we'll go to the next step. And that'll be adding up your years, adding up your resources, figuring out your stats, that kind of thing.
Narian, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I just came up with the perfect name for him, and it's definitely ripping for 40k. He's gonna be Yarick.
Oh yeah.
Tell me that doesn't fit that for Yarick.
Totally. I love the memes that are like the ones that replace like courtship stuff. It's like, I'm afraid to get to know man because I'm afraid, and then it's like someone like oversets what they were gonna say with, he'll tell me about the Horus heresy.
It's 60. My bad. It's 25 books we don't need to get into.
You know, at a future date, I don't know anything about Warhammer, but I think Burning Empires, the Burning Wheel game, is made from Warhammer.
I kind of get that impression.
It probably is very heavily inspired by it.
But like, I think in terms of role-playing games, like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay or Zweihander is a better way to play the old school fantasy. And I think the Warhammer base rule set lends itself well to fantasy role-playing as like a team game. The Warhammer 40K universe, like, there is no diverse small band of people doing anything in the 40K universe. Like, if you're not moving millions of people and conquering and glassing planets, are you even doing anything in the 40K universe? Like,
well, give and take. The Rogue Trader role-playing game was a thing.
oh
and
yeah,
it was actually very successful. And the Rogue Trader game is very good.
well, that's 30K, right, or 31K or something. That's not in the technically not 40K, is it?
What? No. Current Rogue Trader, the Rogue Trader game, the old Rogue Trader, the original tabletop, I want to say was possibly still 30K. I don't remember for sure. But the Rogue Trader game that just came out not too long ago by Owlcat is set in 40K essentially right after the fall of Cadia, because the expanse that you're cut off in is cut off specifically by the Eye of Terror, the rip in the void that the fall of Cadia caused.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess if you cook your lore such that you're isolated enough, you could justify anything.
Well, yeah, essentially with the game, because like not spoiling anything because it takes a lot of steps to get there. I may or may not have created a Catan god at the end of my playthrough of that game. So
Yeah.
that's
my biggest problem with Warhammer 40K. It's not a problem. It's fine as a game where you're maneuvering pieces on a board, but when I try to really theory craft about like the motivations of everything, it's like when you're operating at this scale, like like it's hard to make compelling like individual based story like narrative choices when you're dealing with a world that's that fucked, or galaxy that's that fucked, you know?
Yeah. And see, that's why Rogue Trader is such a good like sect for that, because they kind of just have immunity to all of that. So, and that's what it does it really good. Like there's all of your main choices are set into like 3 different like life paths, essentially, for lack of a better term. You have your iconoclast, which is just your like, hey, for the good of the people and the good of humanity, yada yada yada, I do what I have to do. Dogmatic is your like pious, it's not human, burn it.
Yeah.
And then you have heretical, which is very easy to explain.
Yeah.
Okay,
Interesting.
guys,
Yeah,
are we all good with Life Pass? I want to get everybody back on track.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've got my 4 picked.
Yeah, I've got my 4 picked.
I still need to go over mine with you, Pete.
Sure, we can work with you now. Are you back home yet?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So you wanted the servitude to start there, right? So there is, I don't think the servitude subsetting in Jihad makes sense for you. I don't think you were a slave gladiator. So let's go back to the Burning Wheel servitude one. So you definitely are gonna want born slave. And let me share my screen.
Hey, real quick, Peter,
Yeah.
on the link that you put in there for the PDFs, which one do you want us to buy? The Burning Wheel
I would
Gold?
Yeah, Burning Wheel Gold Revised.
Okay.
That is the latest book.
Got it.
So you probably want to start, Jerry, with the Born Slave.
Okay.
And then you wanted to move into the Mentat somehow. And the only way, there are two ways. There's the Outcast you can go to, or you can go to the Soldier. So I think we're just going to have to look at those two subsettings and see which one appeals more to you.
Outcast.
Okay. And which in the Outcast appears strikes you?
What I want is to serve my lord as like a poisoner or maybe an assassin, someone who cleans things up. I was thinking maybe someone who he's a mentat, but he's willing to step in and get his hands dirty. So
Let me look at the Outcast for Jihad and see if that has anything.
yeah, I mean, if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to soldier if I need to.
Let's see. Heretic, Wild Prophet. Wild Prophet sounds interesting. Like that could lead you to people you trying to turn you into a mentat, but it's up to you. Let's see what else is there. Soldier. Yeah, the soldier one doesn't look particularly well suited. Maybe propaganda officer.
That might work.
But I'm not going to say you can't choose one of the life paths from the Burning Wheel either. So if one of these Outcast or Soldier ones speaks to you more,
No,
you could
no,
just,
no, no, that's fine. I was just looking at Outcast because that's what I started out as, but I'm serving a house, so um what was it we were looking at? What was it?
if you want to stay in the Outcast, my eye was drawn to Wild Prophet. Just because it sounds like they might want to turn a profit into a mentat. You know what I mean? You're making all these predictions anyway.
Yeah, I just
But I'm open. Go for something that really speaks to you.
I'll go with Wild Prophet.
Okay, so you want Wild Prophet?
Yep.
Now let's see how to get you into. Oh, that leads to Fellaheen. So let me look at that. This may be problematical to get you out of that. Salted Desert Rat, Lazy Stayabat. Yeah, it kind of gets you into the desert subsetting is the problem.
Then you know what? Let's go with Smuggler.
Nice. Okay, let me go back to that. Outcast. That'll get you into Noble Court. There you go. That'll get you
Okay.
into Noble Court.
All right, so born slave, smuggler, outcast, smuggler. Excuse me.
Then we could go to Noble Court. Um, let's go to, yeah, I'm in Jihad. Man at Arms, Bannerman, Assassin, Elite Guard, Master Assassin, Strategist. You know what? They don't have Mentat. Oh, they probably couldn't use the Mentat word due to copyright restrictions.
Yeah, I think that's what analyst means in the
Right.
setting.
Yeah,
No
that
problem.
totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that's why I went analyst candidate, but I never went through it. I just used it to branch into like politics. But if you double down and you become like analyst or master strategist or whatever, that's like leaning completely into mind.
That sounds
You
good.
want to do that?
Master strategist.
Yeah,
There's
so-
strategist, there's
Yeah.
analyst and strategist. You
Yeah.
could do both if you wanted to.
Yeah, well, you actually have to. You can't go into strategist unless you have analyst candidate. Same
Okay,
thing
then
with, yeah.
good.
So strategist though is specifically like the military one, and then analyst is like more of the mentat like logistics one too. So it's like a specialization after you've done analyst candidate.
No, that's great. That's actually more in keeping with what I want to do. That's great.
Perfect. So write down all the stuff for analyst and strategist. I'll keep those on the screen for a while. And then we'll go
Yep.
back and we'll get your born slave and your smuggler.
Traits too.
I had a question about general. So when you get like 4 points general, does that just mean you can put them wherever you want?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is there a cap like 3.5 D&D style? Is there like class skills and cross class? Or you can have like a B4, like 4 or whatever, 4E skill.
There aren't paths. You can take any, there aren't real paths.
Cool.
Note that there are other skills. So when it says general, it means you can pick from all the skills that are available, and there are many, many, many of them. And the other ones limit you. So when it says skills 9 points, like for let's say, let's go to analyst. So 10 general points. Oh, well, that's not a good one to choose. Let's say strategist. So like strategist skills, 5 points. These are the only skills he can use to spend those 5 points on.
Mm-hmm. But if
Yeah.
your life path says general 5, you can put them wherever you want.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
And you guys may want to pick up one or more wises. And the thing about a wise with the burning wheel that it's maybe a little bit hard to grasp for a beginner is that in D&D or whatever, a knowledge skill would be, I am gonna know a certain fact about the world, right? But in Burning Wheel, the wise skill can be used for that, but it can also be used to set a particular thing in the world. So you could say the world is like X, and that you test against the wise.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So for example, if you add guards wise, you could say that the guards in this city can easily be bribed. I'm going to make that check. And I'll determine the obstacle. And if you're successful, the guards in that city are easy to bribe.
I had a question too. do you have so are your leads cumulative? Like when you're life pathing, like if you have life path from one thing and then you get to the next life path and its leads are only like city dweller or outcast or whatever, um, does that mean those are the ones you can leave the current life path for, but you still have
Correct.
all the ones in, so you have
No,
like all the ones in noble court available, but then you also have city dweller and outcast?
no, you're stuck. You're going down that path.
Because according to that, then analyst candidate like could never lead to something in the another thing in the noble court subsetting, right? I think it has to be additive, because how else would you ever
Mhm.
become a strategist from an analyst, you know?
Soldier, soldier. Oh, and that I see what you're saying. Interesting.
So I think it's additive. It's like you can either stick to the current path you're in or branch into these two.
We can treat it that way, but I'm not positive that's the case. But
Because
we
I
can
don't see
treat
any way. There's some paths that would be impossible, I guess, unless you have to leave the path and come back. Is that what it's implying?
Yeah, it could be, but you know what? For this game, I don't mind him taking both analyst and strategist. That makes sense for his character. That's exactly what he wanted to do. He's
It
definitely
is.
going to be the oldest guy in the setting because he's going to be 30 years just from that. And then the slave out, he's going to be how many from the smuggler? 7. So he's 37. And then the slave servitude, he is, well, that's 2 years. If he did the
Oh,
board slave,
sorry. I see now. There is a specific statement about this. So it assumes that the life paths are available unless it is listed as an unavailable life path or a restricted life path. So by default, you can stay on the same track easily. If you want to leave the track, you have to have it as a lead in this.
okay, perfect. Good find. So yeah, your character, Jerry, is 49 years old with those life paths.
I feel like a spring chicken.
Yeah.
Especially
I'm
with the power of
52.
spice on your side.
There you go.
But you know what? Hey, your character's so goddamn powerful with those two. It's definitely you are gonna have a powerful character, no doubt about it.
Sweet.
So you've got, oh yeah, analyst 20 resource points, strategist 25. So you're ready at 45 resource points. That's a shitload. Plus, you're probably not going to get much for smuggler and none for slave. But with 45 resource points, that's a shitload.
Well, I'm glad for it. I have a feeling I'll need them.
Yeah. And then you've got 10 general points and 5 points from strategist in logistics, supply wise, strategy games, games of chance. That's great.
Good. So
So does
Outcast,
everybody have their life paths?
I think so.
yeah, I think so
If
too.
you do, let's figure out what age everybody's character is. So to do that, add up the years in all of the life paths you have. And what is everybody's age?
Oh, I've been muted. Mine comes out to 23.
What age?
23.
43?
23.
Oh, 23. I was gonna say, okay.
Yeah, no, mine comes out to 23.
And Bruce, what's your age? You're probably gonna end up in your 30s, I think.
I came out to 23 as well.
Sick.
Bruce, how old is your character?
And if I could ever figure out how to get off mute, I got to go in and buy that PDF because they're not in the Jihad one. I'm gonna go in there and get that. So I don't know right this second, but I will by the end of the night.
I'm not entirely sure if I can take it, even though it says propaganda officer requires veteran, sergeant, stormtrooper, or analyst. Analyst does not feed into the soldier subsetting directly, so I may not be able to take that one.
Does one of your other life path feeds into soldier?
Let's see. I don't think so.
Wait, you have analyst?
Yeah.
It feeds into soldier. I'm looking at it.
Okay. Weird. I'm not.
Yeah.
It says.
Well, the Jihad
Oh, no,
analyst.
sorry. Yeah, no. Analyst
Yeah.
candidate.
Oh.
Yeah, if you go, I guess maybe that's what you would have to go analyst candidate into analyst, which feeds into soldier, and then probably. So I don't think I can jump. I have to do something else first.
That means Jerry's character or Bruce, who is it? Yeah, Jerry's character may not be able to do that either then.
I was gonna go assassin, but assassin requires stormtrooper, elite guard, or 2 desperate killers, which would be I could get to assassin, but I have to spend all my life paths to get to assassin. And then I could go from assassin into propagandist, but I don't think that's gonna work either.
Oh, analyst requires the analyst training trait and
Yeah,
one
analyst.
additional noble court life path.
Mm-hmm. So I can go from analyst candidate into propaganda officer, but I would have to do something in between that gets me into the soldier life path.
Does it say analyst requires analyst candidate?
Number 2.
Let me see.
That's number. Is that 12 or no? 1.
Analyst requires analyst trading trait and 1 additional noble court life path. Nope, you just need an analyst training trait to get to analyst and 1 other noble court life path, which if he's noble born, it fits in.
Okay. That works for him, but for propaganda officer, it doesn't. I have to get from that into the soldier subsetting.
Propaganda officer. Oh, propaganda officer is in soldier setting. Well, this could be, okay. So what do you want analyst candidate?
Well, I have that. I was trying to think of a way to go from. I was trying to, because I just dropped assassin because it seems like there's no way to do it easily. Like all of the requirements require stuff I don't want to do. So I think I'm just going to cut that from it. But I need to have analyst candidate to do propaganda officer. So I'm trying to think of something in between. Maybe Herald. Maybe Herald. No, that doesn't do it.
Go. So chain. Are you under a nobleborn setting right now?
Yeah, noble court. Yeah.
Noble court. You could go to cityborn, which would give you access to court that can then give you access to analyst, as well as all the nobles, and then choose something else. Or you could do servitude, which will give you access to soldier if you change how you're born. If you don't, there is
Okay.
I haven't
That's
looked
okay.
that far.
So if I go cityborn, though, I get noble. But that doesn't help me get to soldier.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing. I'm fucked up now. Okay, let's see. Where was
I think I'll figure it out. I was trying to keep minstrel because I wanted the musician part, but I could cut that as well and do something with.
Okay, born.
You
Oh,
could always pick
wait, no,
musician
you.
as a general skill.
Well, hold on. You're born noble, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's your born. You can choose any lead. Your born noble literally gives you lead to any life path.
Yeah, so that gets me to, but I need to have taken analyst candidate to do propaganda officer.
Oh, I see.
So if I'm going to do them in that order, I that's what I was kind of curious about. Are they cumulative or are they are they from wherever you are on the path?
So
I'm pretty sure they're not cumulative.
Yeah, so I'd have to go
okay.
noble to analyst candidate to something that feeds into soldier to propaganda officer.
You could go under the city dweller. I know there's a couple that like city guard, I think, feeds into.
I'm gonna hit the restroom, guys. I'll be right back. Mute. I mute myself.
I think there's like a city guard in the base city dweller.
I mean, I could just stick in the court and just do man at arms.
Oh yeah, is man at arms in the noble court?
It just doesn't seem like it just doesn't really seem like the concept for the character. Like assassin would have been better because it's like that's more his thing. He's not like an overtly military person.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Man at arms requires
you can do
okay. No, I still have to
say you could do squire, which gives you access to soldier.
Okay, so I go
corrupted sergeant.
So a noble-born squire analyst.
You can't do squire either. Corrupt sergeant, village sergeant, sergeant, veteran, page, or man. Yeah.
Okay. Herald requires page. Man at arms or 3. So it seems like man at arms might be the way to go.
You could do herald. Herald gives you access to soldier and has no required other life paths.
Herald requires page, man at arms, or 3 life paths from professional soldier setting.
Herald? Where are you?
In the jihad book, at least.
Oh, in the jihad. I'm looking at the base book.
Yeah.
Where is the herald in the jihad? Oh, okay. It's under noble court. Oh, okay.
It may just be a bit of a pipe dream. I might have to drop the last hat. I can just go.
Well, just use the. Don't use the jihad herald. Use the the jihad herald. Use the base burning wheel herald.
Okay. Well, I think it says that.
Yeah, it may say something.
Yeah, I think it says.
No.
For example, the following skills should be replaced when found, or just skills. Okay, so maybe that's not true of all the leads.
Crossbow becomes rifle, mounted combat, armor trainings discarded, no armor, convert any read and write skills to single literacy, shield training. Yeah, say if you, because what it looks like, at least the herald in this setting looks like it gives heraldry, noble wise, oratory, conspicuous etiquette, and it doesn't give you a trait. 3 years, 7 resource points.
So I'll go Herald. So I'll go Noble to Candidate to Herald to Propaganda.
Yes. I say you could do that. You just have to use, again, the base Burning Wheel Herald, not
Yeah.
the Jihad Herald. Which the only difference is 1 more year, 3 resource points, and you are forced to pick a trait. You don't just get a free trait point.
Yeah.
And you lose out on like conspicuous etiquette or whatever that was for the skill point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that does it.
Okay. What was I doing now? Oh, I was looking for traits. Because the fucked trait and the brutalized trait I can't find in either book.
Oh, in traits, go to, if you're in the Burning Wheel book,
It's like
then
310.
there's a trait list. I'll look up brutalized. Let's see.
Yeah, there's only brutal in the base book. At least I
Oh,
thought.
interesting.
Maybe I'm like,
Let's see if there's a book in a trait in Jihad. Let's see, life path character traits, analyst training. You're right. Maybe it's a die trait.
I don't know. I've just been looking for both of those and I haven't been able to find either one of them.
Special
All of them.
skills. Traits described in the character burner.
Man. Brutal. Brutish efficiency.
Yeah, I see analysts are mentats, so I definitely see that. Yeah, we'll just brutalize, man. It's got to be weird that it's not here.
It's a the fact that the brutalized is coming straight off of one of the Jihad book life paths, so I would think it would be in here.
Right. Bruiser. Brutal, but it's not brutal. It's brutalized. Weird. Let me come back to this. I'm just gonna search the book for it. Let's see. Yeah, that's the only place it's mentioned in the book. One of one.
Wow.
I think you're just gonna have to improvise. I think it means that you're. I don't think you're full on. You remember Game of Thrones? I don't think you're full on in the reek mode, but I would say that you suffer an ob when you have to deal with someone who has authority, an authority figure.
Yeah, I just have a general lack for care for authority.
Yeah, I think if a cop walked up to you or anyone who has authority, you would be freaked out by that a little and suffer one extra ob.
I'm so confused on the fucked trait too, because it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. I will say in the general trait rules, seemingly they're just like kind of guidance for role play as a way you can earn, advancement stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe
Because
those are
remember,
just,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, maybe those are just so obvious that they're like, yeah, when you role play that, you have this quality, you're doing it right,
And you only earn Artha from a trait when it gets you into trouble. So if a trait helps you, it doesn't earn you Artha.
So what? Okay. There's no armor, no personal armor, vehicle armor, laser weapons, or nuclear standoff munitions efficiently destroy any material resistance put in the way. The reason why the soldier gets the fucked trait is because he doesn't have a shield.
Oh, okay.
So the soldier gets the fucked trait because there's nothing to save him when a laser comes his way. Okay, well,
It's a great game, man. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna change the way you think about role playing. You'll see.
Okay, well,
That's glorious.
I'm gonna put the trait down, and I'm gonna simply put it as refuses to put on armor or something, like refuses to use a shield, like a personal shield or something like that because of it. Does that work out?
Sure. You could be creative, whatever floats your boat. Think back to your recent memories of being in the military, how much you've been penetrated by the green weenie, and you can use that. I can remember so many ways.
I love the fact that it doesn't explain like what it is. The only other reference I found of the fucked trait is the can't I just wear armor with a question mark, like FAQ, where it says, why is there no armor in the game?
Here's the thing, too. There are 3 types of traits. There are character traits, and those are just generic traits. They don't have a mechanical benefit except for the ability to earn you Artha. But then there's call-on traits. So a call-on trait will allow you to re-roll failed dice. So call-on traits are powerful. And then there's die traits. Die traits give you extra dice. So those are the 3 types of traits. For example, one of my characters has Fleet of Foot, and the Fleet of Foot trait allows you to re-roll failed when you make a speed check. So it's pretty powerful.
Well, that's interesting. So, Master of Assassins does not require you to have been an assassin, but you have to have been an analyst, at least.
Bruce, how are you doing? Do you know how old your character is? You need help?
Now, I just downloaded the PDF, and I haven't quite calculated up. Give me a second. I'll let you know in a
Okay,
second.
sure. I just want to make sure you're getting the help you need.
Yeah, I'm good. I got the PDF now, and just listening to all you guys' wonderful thoughts. Very interesting.
Okay.
Jerry, how are you getting on?
I'm fine. Where I got my age. I just was wondering about my belief.
We'll get those last. Let's go through the character burning process first,
Sure.
and get your beliefs ironed out.
I might have to rework my plan because I didn't realize that I couldn't branch to where I thought initially. So I might have to rethink how I get there.
Sure. And guys, if we need another day to roll up characters, I know it's so hard because we're doing it by hand. That's okay. There's no rush here. So don't feel rushed about anything. Even I am. I've never rolled up a character by hand. I've always used the tools. So I'm a bit lacking on the stats. Normally, the stats are all done for me by the game. So I'm not sure how we derive base stats. You can't start at 0, so it must be that the stats start at like 1 or 2, because I don't see you guys getting many stat points. Let me read up on that while we're waiting. I'll take on that.
But we get all the ones for just being humans in the main book, right?
Yes.
I think we're all human at the end of the day. Our life paths are different than the default, but I think race wise, according to the main book, we're just humans.
Right. And that's something I forgot because I'm never rolling up a character by hand. I'm always using the tool. Okay, where is it? Character burning. Here we go. Skills and traits. Oh, and I guess age does affect your stats as well. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Say it's based on your age, you get starting stat points for just for your mental and physical pool. Just go. What am I? 23, so 7, 16. That's cool. Damn. I rolled the best starting stat that I could, I guess, for age. You got there are 17 to 25 years of age where you get all 7 mental pool points and 16 physical pool points. I didn't do it on
What page is
purpose, I
that on?
swear. In it's 197 of the base Burning Wheels book.
Okay. Yeah, starting stats points for men by age. There you go. Yeah, wow, you did pick the ultimate age, didn't you? 7 mental, 16 physical. So Jerry, your character's gonna get 7 mental and 12 physical. It's okay though. You're not going to be a physical character anyway.
That's sick. I get 2 extra physical and 1 extra mental for my life paths. I swear I'm not meta building a character.
Peter, what about in the PDF I just downloaded, it's got, some slight differences. Should we use, I guess, the Burning Wheel revised one over the Jihad one?
What difference are you talking about?
Like one of them is Born Noble, time is 8 years in the
Oh, use the Jihad one over the Burning Wheel one.
Okay. Yeah, some of the traits are a little different too. Just use the Jihad traits.
And guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up by like 11:30, so in 30 minutes. We'll just meet again next Sunday and continue driving on with character development because we're not gonna finish at this point, which is totally fine. I'd rather us take our time and get our characters all perfect anyway than rush through things.
You're here.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. For what you were looking for like not starting at 0 until you become physical points, you divide between agility, speed, power, forte, yada yada. You can divide it as you see fit, yada yada. But it could be recommended, becoming familiar with the game. Physical stats should start no lower than exponent 3 and no higher than exponent 6. So if
Yeah,
that's
having
something,
a stat at exponent 6 is nuts.
yeah, I would say if that's something like you want to do, or we say fuck that and we just start all of our like physical stats have to start from 0 and we just put our points into it, is basically what he's saying.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to see anyone with a stat over 6 for sure. And even a stat of 6 is nuts. It is nuts. I wouldn't do that if I were you, but it's definitely up to you.
Okay.
Especially since some stats you want to be careful about skimping on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, like, if your fort is too low or your health ends up being too low, your character can die and get severely injured. Like, you can get so injured in this game that you have to retire your character. Happened to
Yeah.
me before, so you want to be careful about that.
Um. Okay. I see what that's saying. So, okay. So, what do mental go to perception and willpower?
Perception is also a very hard skill to advance, stat to advance, because it only advances on successes, unlike other stats.
Yeah. I say I've got 8 points in that, so I'm just going 4-4.
That's a good perception. 4, by the way, 3 is average. So if your stat is over a 3, you are above average at something.
Okay. Then last 4 are what? Speed, power, and forte. So I have 17 points to go in between 4 skills. Okay. Okay.
By the way, do you guys want character sheets?
Oh, I
should have
found
thought about
yeah.
that.
I found a character sheet online that I've been using.
Okay, perfect. Let me just, for those of you who don't have a character sheet, let me share the one that I have. If I can find it, where did I put it? Um,
Okay. Yeah.
Gold edition. Where the hell did I put it? So weird.
6, 10, 17. Okay, 8. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
I use. I'm having trouble finding where the character sheet is. So weird.
Are we playing with the salt or whatever, spice rules?
Find action, do with width. I found it.
All spice, no salt.
Okay, guys, I'm going to put this in the chat. Here is a link for those of you who don't have it to the character sheet.
Oh, cool. Is this fillable?
I hope so, but I'm not 100% positive.
Because you can get the sheets. That's one thing you can get right off the Burning Wheel homepage. But I found that they're not easily fillable to type them into them. You can print them.
So here, let me get on. Let me see if I can find where
It's
I
not
got mine.
lame. Someone in the community must have made a fillable sheet.
Yeah, I'm using it here. I got one for you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
This
because
is
I
the
was
one-
like, I even
Yeah. I say I just dropped it in the chat. This is the one I'm using, and so far, like even looking through it, like page 3 has all of your weapons, your armor, everything. Page 1 is
Oh,
all
this
of your
is different.
traits.
I've not seen this one before. This looks great.
Yeah, I say this is the one I've been using, and so far it seems pretty like all of the like all of your routine checks and everything, they're all checkable blocks. You can all of your shades you can mark in there if it's shaded.
By the
Okay.
way, we'll be using actually the Foundry VTT which
Oh, cool.
Oh,
yeah,
perfect, I
you're
already have
gonna have
Foundry.
to put all you're gonna have to retype your characters in there, but it auto tracks many things and auto levels. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. In fact, that reminds me, I've been spacing on it. Let me actually pull that up so you guys have I can make sure everybody has access to it.
Yeah, so I already have
I've played around with Foundry a lot in the past. Is there already a patch that supports Burning Wheel in there?
Yep.
Yeah, because
So
I was like curious. I was like, I wonder how we were gonna do like dice rolling and stuff.
Oh, I was just gonna get out my bag of many dice and just start rolling them. Because I have enough dice to use as a blunt trauma object.
all right.
It is
I'm
legit
gonna
like 8
need
pounds of dice.
everybody's IP. Hang on a second here. So here's a link to the game that you're not going to be able to join until I get your IP. So post that into the chat and I will add you on the server because I have my server locked down for obvious reasons, right?
It kicked me out. Foundry. Oh, this is Forge. Fuck, I don't have Forge. I have Foundry account. I do. Interesting.
All right. So I am set up right now to add you guys into the game, and I'm gonna have to reboot the server anyway.
You need the IPv4 address or v6?
So yeah, just go to whatismyip.com and that'll tell me what your external IP is.
So I mean, isn't it like I'm pretty sure I have like a private IP, like a 192, 168 number. Is that
Yeah,
gonna work? That's
that
not
won't
gonna
help me. I need your public facing IP.
I'm assuming we need to download the Foundry software.
No, I have it running on the
Oh, okay.
server. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's why I need your IPs because it's to get access to my server, it's super locked down. So I don't have people from North Korea and China on my system.
So Peter, you're gonna have to help me figure out how to get you the right IP, I guess.
All you got to do is go to whatismyip.com in your web browser.
Okay.
Do you gentlemen have Labor Day off?
I do. I could do something on Labor Day.
Let's see, is that next? Or maybe I'm getting mixed up. Maybe some. Which one is it? It's coming up.
Even
I
if
am-
all of us couldn't make it, anyone who needed help, we could at least get some people's characters done.
Yeah, sorry, Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Because I am going to the Ren Fair the preceding day. I might be home in time. I doubt I'll be there much after dark. But I was just gonna say the following day I'm off of work on a rare Monday, so we could also play then.
I'm
Pete,
off on the 27th.
Pete,
What's that?
I'm at the site. It says my public IPv4. Is that what you need?
Yeah, if you go to whatismyip.com, it'll tell you. And the excuse me, the V4 is it.
Right. So I'm ready to give you my number.
Go for it. Type it into the chat.
Yeah, I say we got three of us. If we
Because
got
I'm
three.
so deaf, thanks to the army, I'll probably mishear it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, stats. So, So if I wanted to, I could take 5 of my physical points and shade a skill. Well, shade a like base skill like power or forte.
Oh, yeah, don't shade your skills,
Oh,
please.
interesting.
Don't shade your stats.
Hmm.
I am going to disallow that. It's too powerful.
Fair.
We'll let you shade in game, which is such an amazing achievement to actually shade shift one of your stats. It's unreal.
I feel like
When
I'm
your
being
stat
gate.
is shade shifted, even from black to gray, you become like you're the best in the region at that.
I feel like I'm
Like if
being
you have the
cake.
shade shifted power, then you're the strongest person in your sector of the universe. And if you have a white, if you shade shift to white, you are like that you epitomize that stat in the universe. You'd be the strongest person in the universe. You're like a god when you have shade shifted all the way to white. It's ridiculously powerful.
I feel like I'm being gate kept by my game master.
Yeah.
He
I've
just
actually
admits it.
I've actually never seen anyone shade shift in game yet. I'm sure it'll happen, but it's a
You mean like
super
a stat or
long-term
skills
thing.
too?
Yeah. It's such a and
It seems like
it's
with skills,
overpowering. That's why it's so hard to do.
yeah, it does seem like it'd be a lot of Artha to bank.
I can tell you exactly how much it is. To shade shift a skill or a stat, it takes 20 fate, 10 persona, and 3 deeds
Damn.
to shade shift. Now you can already have spent those. In fact, that's how you shade shift. So when you spend Artha, let's say on your sword skill, or let's say falsehood, you lie, you always lie, and you spend Artha a lot on when you lie. Eventually, you can shade shift your falsehood skill. So that means instead of rolling a 4, 5, or a 6 for success, you can roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6 for success. And if you shade shift to white, then a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 will equal success. You will only fail on a 1. So yeah, shade shifting is an insanely exceptional thing. All right, let me I'm gonna copy all these IPs now that I have everybody's IP. And I gotta do one more. I gotta sudo vim sites.
Oh yeah. I'll probably spend some time this week looking through skills and reading through the book and seeing if I can get all my skills knocked in and be ready to go.
Yeah, and I'm here to help you guys, so it's a big task, man. Creating a character in the Burning Wheel is no
I say
joke.
because what, as it sits right now, I have 16 skill points across and those aren't just my general. I have 4 general skill points. I have 16 skill points that are across maybe 7 skills. So that are required by my life paths.
You probably want other skills I should tell you guys about that you may want: observation, persuasion, falsehood. What are other good skills that you're going to use a lot? Your main weapon. You probably want multiple weapons. You probably want like some kind of knife or whatever, but you also want some kind of, range weapon. Then you're gonna want things like shield training, so to help you get shields.
Oh, shame. My fucked trait doesn't allow that.
Brawling or
Did we figure
martial
out that
arts.
that's what it means? That I thought it was just a thing that you get when you are without a shield.
So the way it was read and the way kind of it was like, hey, the way he had it in the Jihad book, it was like, hey, why is there no armor? Well, there's lasers and rifles that literally make any material obsolete if you're getting shot at by it. So they just don't wear it, which is why the soldier gets the fucked trait.
Right. They do. There are shields. I'm not sure if there's no armor at all in the Dune world. What do you think, Marion? I think Darren's more up to speed than me. I haven't read the books in so long.
There's probably portable shield generators.
Yeah, it's the shield. Why, like, all that skill is replacing that, because steel isn't going to do any good against it. But I think the fucked trait is supposed to be like the soldier version of the jihadi faith trait, in that you're not penalized for being without it in your weapons stats. Like, whereas most people that are shield trained, when they're shield, because there's a whole sub rule thing about shield depletion. If you look at the shields chapter, like there's shield dice and stuff.
Yeah.
I think because you're a soldier, there's like a soldier and the Fahadin, they don't get penalized when their shield is exhausted, because I guess you're just accustomed to being fucked.
Right.
I'll take that. That's a lot better than me just saying refuse. So,
But you're welcome to role play that fuck trait to the hilt and earn off it from it. So
I'm going to. He is going to be a grizzly, angry man.
Hey guys, can you all do this? Go to Thalendel.com and see if you can get on the site now. I restarted the server and added all your IPs. I'll put it in the chat again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add you guys to the game. Oh, I already added you guys. So Austin, Bruce, Jerry, Marion, you all should have access.
It's asking me for an administrator access key password.
Try now.
Okay, refreshing.
Nope. Nope. When you go to when you log into it, it's going to bring up that password setting where it's like, hey, choose your login. If you click the drop down menu, go to your name and then hit just join, there is no password requirement.
Yeah. All right. I'm in.
Yeah, it looks like I'm in as well.
Perfect. Let me assign all your characters. Let's see. Configure ownership. Observer. So Bruce, you should be the owner. And you're welcome to change your names.
Oh, cool. Can we just build our characters on this sheet?
Yeah, you could totally.
Okay, because that's gonna be, I mean,
Easier.
yeah.
I do not.
What's the website again?
Haha.
In the chat, there's a link.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Say that
let's see.
again.
I see it.
Perfect.
Are you gonna leave the server running, or are you gonna take it down?
Let's see. I have another game on Monday, so I have to switch it. And according to the copyright thing, I can only run one game at a time. So I'm going to switch it to a different game, so you won't have access to it on Monday. But I don't need to use it again, so I can turn it back on like Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'll
That's
leave it up until Monday evening. So Monday at like 5 o'clock, I'm gonna have to change it.
all right.
Well, I may still just build the character on the billable.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and then
then I'll yeah,
next time we
upload it.
play, we can just transfer it.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
I say I've at least started my character, so it has names and such, and we can go from there.
Yeah, and definitely go in and give yourself a name appropriate to the setting for your character, and also choose a cool picture. I think that adds great ambiance, you know.
Oh.
I'm excited, guys. We're getting closer. We're
getting
edging
there.
closer to playing.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Uh. Do, 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 do.
You guys should also write up a little, because we went over like the history of your character. Guys, write that up. Write up a couple of paragraphs of your backstory so we all have it and can examine it and remember it.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, these are up on YouTube, all of the sessions that we have. So if you ever need to rewatch something, you're welcome to do it. And you're welcome to like and comment, because that'll help the algorithm.
Where do I upload the photograph? Or how should I say?
I'm gonna have to stop it in about 10 minutes too, guys, because I do have work tomorrow. So I normally turn into a pumpkin a little bit before midnight.
No, I hear you. I got to take off myself. But I'm excited about next week, guys.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, sure.
Fun.
Now, just as a reminder, I will be out of the country on I am flying out on the 31st, and I'm not returning until the 9th. So we won't be able to play the 2nd and the 9th. But I can definitely play the 26th, and if you guys want to play again on the 27th, I can do that.
Yeah, I will probably be back and able to like finish. I will do my best to like have my character completely done, and I'll ask any questions I can before then.
Sure.
So if I can't be here for the finalization of character stuff, I'm definitely willing to play the following day if we want to actually play a session or something.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know, I got nothing planned, so I'm probably good for 26, 27, that Sunday, Monday, holiday.
Also, we're gonna do the factional belief, so everybody's gonna have to have the same belief about getting rid of the heart without going to war. Your belief is gonna be you wanna figure out a way to get rid of the Harkonnens without pushing them into going to war. And then you'll need two other beliefs, which should be centered around the things that we all talked about before. So, like Jerry, you'd have a belief about serving your Lord, that kind of thing.
Right.
Here, I have a question for you. So for that fucked trait, like me and Narian were talking about,
Yeah.
with the exhaustion for dialing the shield up past the 5 setting, for the fucked trait, could I just take it to like, oh hey, like instead of 5 being my limit, 6 being my limit on a shield? Would that work out?
What's your limit, did you say?
So with the shields, if you dial it up to the 5th level for like protection, you're supposed to take a forte test or suffer exhaustion. So, and then it gets harder if you go to 6, and then even harder if you go to 7. So instead of it being my base 1 at 5, could I make it at base 1 at 6?
I don't know. That's powerful. That doesn't sound like fuck to me.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm trying to figure out the whole fucked trait is so weird because there's nothing that actually says
It
what
should be a
does.
trait that gets you into trouble. And then you can use
Okay.
it to earn Artha.
Okay. I see how you want me to run that trait. Yep, I can do that.
Yeah. Traits,
figure it out.
if they help you, then you're never going to earn Artha from them. Now, call on traits and die traits are usually good for you. They usually help you. But character traits should hurt you. There are also plain character traits like Harry. Um, if you pick the Harry trait, you are like the hairiest dude in the room. People comment on how fucking hairy you are. If you pick the tall trait, you're always like the tallest person in the room, and people comment on it, which could be something that hurts. You're inconspicuous. So if you're trying to blend into a crowd, but you have the tall trait, you could say, hey, I'm going to take +1 ob for my tall trait. And then if you fail the roll, you're going to get Artha from that trait.
Yep. I see. Here we go. I brutal humor in human life is insignificant. There's the trait.
One of my characters has the heckle trait. So I heckle everybody, even if I'm about to get into a fight and that'll make them more mad. I heckle them because that's my character. I was a jester.
Oh boy.
I heckle the shit out of people. Here's an example. I heckled a bunch of pirates, right? And they were pissed off at me and chasing me, but I used my fleet of foot and they couldn't catch me. So I did not get Artha for my heckling trait. Make sense? Because it didn't get me in the trouble.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, if my memory of how Foundry functions serves, you'll have to upload our images because you have the server.
Oh, I've got a bunch of, just email me the images and I can, or however you want to get them to me, and I will upload them.
Yeah, I dropped mine in the chat, but if you want, I can email it too.
Oh, perfect. So let me do this. Open file. Oh, save as. There we go. And it's going to save right to Burning Houses. So Narian character. Got it. And I will transfer that up to the server right now.
Yeah, there's ways around that if we all have the app or whatever, but I think given the way you're running it on your server or your domain, you'll have to do all the non-data entry
I
stuff.
don't mind.
I love Foundry, but it is like it can do almost everything, but the onus is on whoever's running the domain to do all the legwork. I ran like during the pandemic, Foundry was my best friend. I ran so many games on that.
I'm gonna get to Dropbox now.
For some reason, I want to see this dude as like a space wolf. I don't know why.
Whoa. Are you calling my character gay? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I say I'm just
kidding.
As
Do you know-
I'm
do
sitting
you-
here thinking about what I'm gonna try and use as a picture and visual, all I can see is that just like rugged Viking space wolf look.
Oh, sorry. I just. Do you ever listen to the Lorehammer podcast?
No, I did not do Lorehammer.
Yeah, they're pretty insufferable to be honest. But back in the day, I just love that their running bit is that the space wolves that they're always calling space wolves gay. That's like their running joke.
All right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
What the fuck? I have made a mistake going to Google Images, apparently. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm not going to find a picture today because I'm scarred.
Good.
They're a pretty great faction though. Unit.
They've got some fun. They have some fun mechanics. Like
Yeah.
the whole sagas to be told mechanic or whatever it is. It's so much fun. Like, hey, I did all 3 of these sagas last round. Cool. Like, which one do I actually want to affect my army? Or it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I could really use this right now, so I'm gonna focus on killing that character so I can get the saga of whatever the killing the character saga is. It's like
Yeah.
that's the buff I need. So they've got some really cool mechanics and Wolfen units. The new
Oh, no,
cast of the Wolfen units look good.
I've never played Empire, but if I were, that'd probably be the Space Wolves would be among the ones I'd pick. I'm obviously I'm a Tau player, so
Yeah, we've talked about it.
he's like, I've already accepted this deplorable fact about you.
I've already had to. The shittiest thing that I've realized recently about the Tau looking more into the lore is that, and you'll probably agree with me on this, which is the shitty part, is that if any faction in 40K genuinely gave a fuck, the Tau wouldn't exist.
Gave a fuck about the Tau.
Like, gave a fuck that thought the Tau were a threat and genuinely full scale went to war against the Tau would no longer exist.
Fair, but I will say, like, the Tau have the benefit of lore-wise, like, there are elements of all of the other groups in the Tau. Like, there could conceivably be Tau Eldar and Tau humans, you know?
Oh yeah, no. I get what you're saying. It's just like it's not like the Tau being bad. It's the fact that GW refuses to do any more with their IP.
Yeah.
It's like the Tau just haven't been expanded the way they sit right now in the lore. Like, if Chaos